What's going on, guys? Here is me taking a look at the Australian USD. So this was the last trade of last time. So checking the weekly real quick. So here this kind of double top, and here is a bearish movement. So if we adjust this trend line a little bit, chances are that we will here see another pull to the downside. Here kind of a support zone. Now heading here towards this previous support resistance line. So here could still take a couple of weeks, but looks like we will go down. Daily here, this overall uptrend here. So this kind of channel, which usually tends to be a bearish one, since here the trend is going lower, higher, and then lower. So you could wait for a push to the upside, which will also be here, this resistance zone, and then take a trade here to at least here and then even lower. Or the other option is to wait for a break, retest, and then continue to go lower. So checking the forward chart real quick as well. So here this channel pretty nice along those lines. So if you want, even though the trend is bearish, you could still here go for a buy at some point, but I would wait for a kind of a bullish sign or something like that, or scalp down and go to lower time frames, since here we see sometimes some bullish signs at the trend line here. So if you then scalp lower, for example here we had this trend, then the break, and suddenly we turned around. So something similar could happen here as well. So if we here may see a break above this trend line, then maybe go for a retest. I mean, it depends how much lower we will go here before we see a change of direction, and then you could enter here with a stop loss either below the previous point here somewhere, or here you can find a lower point and target all the way up from there. On the 1 hour chart, that would be here the 30-minute chart. So here pretty much head and shoulders pattern. Now this bearish flag, and then the break to the downside, which is what I was talking about on the daily, which could happen here as well. If we go down to the 15-minute chart as well, so what we are seeing here is pretty much this double top, this double bottom, and here a higher low on the CCI. So you could either wait now for the break above here, and then enter around here, but with a stop loss below here, which would then look something like this. So here somewhere, waiting for the break, stop loss here, and target all the way here. So roughly a 3-point risk reward. Or if you really want to go and scalp it, maybe we can see a retest to somewhere around here and then enter for a buy, which would then be a higher high, higher low pattern. This is one of the options, but here on the 5-minute chart and 15-minute chart, it looks like this is a double bottom with higher low on the CCI. So here is what I'm looking for, is long positions. For now, if we scalp this like this, so the trade here could be 1 to 11, 12, 10, depends on the entry exit, but this is what I'm looking for. So buy pretty simple. So the next one would be USD CAD. So 5-minute chart. Let's check the daily real quick. So here hit this resistance zone, broke a little bit above it as we did previously, and then went lower. So here again, this kind of downtrend. Here break above it. Saw the retest to the kind of previous low of the overall low, and then starting to head to the resistance zone again, but got rejected here again. So we could still continue to the downside to here on the daily. Checking the weekly real quick, we're pretty much here support. If we go on the monthly, this is likely to be a double top, yep, and well, whatever that is, doesn't matter too much for now. For our chart, so here basically this nice uptrend. Here a little bit of a break, but still an uptrend. So here the break retest to the previous zone of the lowest point here, something like this, and then a rejection. So pretty much pretty textbook reversal like style here. Some here lower lows, lower highs. So technically what this should look like would be something like this, and then going lower. So looking here for shorts, obviously here the 1 hour chart is moving again, trying to form this kind of, here's a trend line, depends on how exact you want to be. So here again you could here look for a break out of this channel, maybe wait for a retest and then go lower, or here target some kind of highest point if we see move like this, and enter a trade here. 30-minute chart, well, basically going here back and forth and then breaking out to either the upside or downside, but since the trend is bearish, I'm looking here for a break to the downside. So pretty simple as that. So this would be a short here. What's it? Short USDCAD. So the next one would be the USD and the Japanese yen. Here taking a look at the daily, still kind of an uptrend here. So looks like this pattern will be something like this, kind of ugly uptrend, which looks something like this probably. So here pretty simple, selling the highs, buying the lows, could still go on for one or two times. Not quite sure. Of course we could always see a break to the upside or the downside, but trend is bullish, so buying the lows is actually, that would work or could work, whatever. So here pretty nice on the 4 hour chart. The wrong tool. So here this trend line, and probably this one here. So here as you can see, we always see some kind of breakout since the trend is up, so we try to break to the upside, but then it turns out to be a false breakout, and then we see some kind of bearish sign, for example here bearish divergence, and then break to the downside. Here again bullish flag, but still turned down. Here again bearish divergence and turn to the downside. So if we see another pullback to this trend line, I'm looking for buys. Again, if you're looking for shorts here, then wait for the break to the downside, since we always break above this trend line. Here we could say we created a new one, so probably then the trend could go all the way up to here and then short from there. But I would, since the trend is still bullish, look for buys here, to be honest. So here kind of in the middle of everything. So here saw on the 1 hour chart this downtrend, here the lower part, and now here the break. So looks like we will turn to the upside. We could still see a retest maybe to this low, but in general the trend is to the upside. If you want to scalp or trade on lower time frames, here, so here was the resistance, the previous low, and now broke above this area with a pretty bullish momentum. And now what will happen is, I guess, something like this, where we still see a bigger pull to the downside, maybe to here, maybe not that far, and then suddenly reverse, just so that people get stopped out of the trade, since a lot of them have those stop loss somewhere like in between here or below here. So we'll probably see a bigger move to the downside before going up. So if you want to buy here, the stop loss should be pretty low, if that is something that could still turn out to be a good trade, although it doesn't look like it will be. I mean, here the stop loss would be pretty not something that I would trade, but if you see a pullback, then I would enter in here around 15-minute chart. Pretty much the same here, this breakout, and this is what the market will likely do. So here a 5-minute chart, downtrend, high, low, higher. So this was the previous lowest point. Here the break above everything here. So this here was a candlestick that you could have entered on the 5-minute chart. Was it here? So here forming this higher, lower lows, lower highs, suddenly a trend reversal. If we check the 15-minute chart real quick. So here, yeah, pretty simple trade here, bullish divergence, lower low, but higher low on the CCI, and this is a sign that the trend will reverse. So this is here, and then we broke the lowest high here, and this support and resistance zone. Let me quickly draw it here with this candlestick. So this big one, this green one on the 5-minute chart. So this would be your entry point, and if you trade something like this with a stop loss pretty close, pretty small, maybe here, and you see in a short amount of time you can go to at least 1 to 4, even higher. But you see, if we really target the absolute high here, would be a 1 to 7, depends on the entry and exit as well. But so here I'm here again, it's kind of a double top. So it looks like, as I said, this will turn into this here, and then maybe come back to here somewhere and then go higher. So if you go on the 1-minute chart, this is probably what it looks like here, suddenly breaking this area. So here you could short